Link Summoning's coming in 4 months, and now I feel will be the perfect time to start a series where I just sort of talk about decks that might be good in an upcoming format, or just in the format that is current. Now, this is, more a discussion, or, probably small rant in tone, about how Melodious could play and how Melodious could do in an actual competitive sense when it comes to Link format. Now, Melodious really are only going to be able to survive if only due to the fact that Ostinato now exists, which just immediately sets up Aria Lock, and since you can Ostinato for a Schuberta, and, maybe just, banish your opponent's, graveyard, with the assumption that you go second, which is not preferable in this case due to the fact that your opponent could then set up any sort of, summon negation, which would frankly fuck your deck up. Now, since you can dump a Aria and a Elegy to the graveyard and then special summon them, that basically just means turn 1 you can have all of your Melodious monsters be immune to everything but non-targeting removal that is non-destruction, and banish effects, and kaijus! Which is where, here right now, I would have edited in a clip of many things getting kaiju'd to the sound of Godzilla screams, but editing software hates me. Now, beyond Ostinato, there are many, many ways to get Aria on the field, which Aria alone does ensure a good bit of protection for the deck, considering the fact that most removal other than stuff that would banish or would just be targeting is stuff like Raigeki, which frankly if your opponent plays Raigeki against you, if you're assuming you're not playing OCG, you're pretty much fucked anyways. But, it is a good first turn option to get plays going, and it is not terrible. Secondly, your other special summon option is Valhalla, although frankly I like to save this for recovery attempts and to summon the bigger Melodious monsters, which you should actually run as more than just Fusion Material and Crystal Rose targets, seeing as how they are really big and are really good for, recovering, just in general. Now, for other monsters you have that are just small and, utility-wise, Solo, you can basically it has a Cyber Dragon summoning condition, and you can run into basically anything that your opponent controls that is of any real size. And you can summon, your Elegy if you're missing it. You can summon, just summon, anything you need. The problem is that if you're summoning Elegy, that means you don't have an Aria because you could destroy the Solo. Other problem is the fact that Elegy alone won't do much, but you can summon the 2 bigger Melodious monsters off of this, or just anything that would have enough defense to survive for the rest of the turn. Beyond that, we have Cannon, which is pretty much useless besides being a little bit of battle position changing, which can save your ass occasionally when it comes to lethal damage, but other than that, it's just good special summonable material for, say, a Last Resort XYZ, or in any case, summoning with our dearest Soprano, which is just basically contact fusion in a monster form, and beyond that, it does have a good recovery effect when special summoned, and is frankly a 3-up staple that you should play. You should play a lot of it. It's just good. And the one other monster that if you can get a lot of on the field, you can beat over just most things. Just outright. For basically each one of these bitches you special summon, get 500 attack and defense on all of your Melodious monsters, including itself. Meaning, special summon 2 of these, have an Elegy on the field, that's 1,300 bonus to everything on your side of the field, and considering the fact that most of these do have pretty okay attack values anyways, you will have a fairly sizable board in terms of damage. Now, beyond this, the really only other good utility card is Score, the Melodious Diva. It's just honest, but instead of boosting your attack, it lowers the opponent's to 0, and other than that, It's an honest. You can use it as fusion material, I guess, but beyond that, it's not worth much. Then you have Mozarta and, well, Chopina, but we'll get to Chopina. Mozarta is pretty simple. You can special summon one light fairy monster from your hand, which includes Christia. Woo! And for the rest of the turn, you can't activate any effect except for the effects of light monsters. And Chopina is just, it's pretty simple. You just retrieve a light fairy from the grave and add it to your hand. And then it has the same effect negation, well, not effect negation, effect restriction as Mozarta. Then you have the king of shit. Well, not shit, or king really, as I believe is Christia a woman? Whatever, details. Either way, you can summon Christia. In fact, you can summon Christia okayly easy with enough effect dumping and fusion. And an Auriolach plus a Christia cannot really be broken that easily, besides Raigeki the Christia and then having to get around the Auriolach. And really, you don't need to summon a lot of monsters from the extra deck in Link format for Melodious. In fact, really their only good option is Bloom Diva, because it already can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects, meaning it is already in prime condition to just fuse out first turn and be safe. Then you can just attack any special summon monster, and you can just blow it the fuck up, and then inflict damage equal to the difference between this and your opponent. Which means if somehow your opponent, fusion summons some bullshit, or Link summons, or blah 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 blah, and you just don't like it, you can beat the fuck over it. Or, no, not beat, you can blow it the fuck up and then burn it. Just burn it right on the table, light it on fire, and then your opponent takes the same damage as it would. And you can just destroy it. It's just gone. Its effects are negated. You take this card and you shove it right up their ass. I've got onto just a really terrible point at this point with this take. I'm gonna keep going. Now, frankly, what is this deck's weakness? Well, besides the fact that bricks can be especially terrible in this deck, and the fact that not getting Auriolach up means you will probably lose unless your opponent's deck is just a beatdown deck and they have no real options other than to attack over all your monsters. You really can just sort of stall your opponent out and eventually clear their field enough to the point where you can all-out attack. So, I mean, Melodious, it's not the best option by far for Link format, but it's certainly more playable than it was before. Frankly, next video is going to be Dino Mists. Why the fuck would it be Dino Mists? Well, they have Dino Mist Charge. Dino Mist Charge lets that little extra deck summoning, restriction not hurt as much. See you all next time. Do whatever the fuck you want, I guess, with liking, commenting, subscribing, whatever the fuck. Hell, some of you probably aren't even watching at this point. But I guess you might be.